Hello, my little Luxes. This is cosplayer Charsie Lux, and welcome to the very first episode of Charsiechats. Even though it looks like I would be doing coffee and cosplay, but I had kind of said previously, I think it was on my Jaws episode, it's hard to remember every single one of the ones where I say something, because, I spend hours and hours, actually technically days, recording, editing, researching, blah 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 blah. So me trying to remember which was the episode that I had mentioned, like, hey, I was thinking about doing a more down-to-earth type of conversational type idea that would be similar to cosplay, that would be similar to coffee and cosplay, but dubbing it Charsie Chats. And the reasoning for it is because of the fact that even though I had finally quit my job and had gotten away from that terrible, terrible, horrible environment on the 3rd of, at the 3rd of this month, it doesn't feel like it's still July. That's what's weird. It feels like a lot of time has already gone by, and it's technically been 3 weeks since my last day at my job, and that I kept thinking in my head, man, I'm gonna have all this free time now and I can just dive into all of my shows and just put so much into my YouTube channel. And I started overwhelming myself again, because I would never do that, as I watch Callie and hope to God she doesn't bump into the thing. I got my little helper today, so Callie's full of everything today. So you'll have to forgive me all over the place, because as soon as I got done with the job and I started putting more effort into my videos, but that was the thing, I put way more work and effort into my videos. So when doing research or when recording or thinking of ideas, and then with the edits and more edits and adding movie clips or adding the GIFs, especially for, you're gonna bump into it. Come here, come say hi. You haven't said hi to everybody in a while. Oh, she's a big girl. Hi, sweetie. Come say hi. Then we'll put you down. You say hi to the fluffy. All right, you can go back down. Just don't go behind there. But, so I apologize if she bumps into the, whatever you want to call this, the ring light that I attach my iPhone to that I record from. So if it's wibbly wobbly, like I said, you'll have to forgive me being all over the place, because when I put so much more effort into my videos, I realized that it was still taking more time. And so I kept thinking in my head, I'm like, God, I was supposed to have all this free time. Well, I don't have free time. And so I kept thinking, I'm like, but I still want to plug out more content. So my idea and my thought process was Charsie Chats. And the idea of Charsie Chats is to have minimum to almost no edits whatsoever. So this is just basically me being able to talk about anything and everything. If I want to vent about something, or if I want to bring up something important, or if there's something going on in the world and I feel like people should be having a conversation about it, Charsie Chats is really important for it. And also the fact that to do bare minimum edits, that I just record, and then once I'm done, splice the beginning, the ending on it, and then boom, upload it. Simple as that. Because I need something that's way, way, way more low-key, down-to-earth, in order for me to be able to keep up with it, and also to have a conversation with everybody that is on my platform, and it sounds weird saying it like that. Have a conversation with my friends, because we have formed this huge bond and community at the horror community, the horror fam, especially with the last drive-in for the mutant fam. And there's a sense of community that we need in this world right now. And it seems like everybody's just fighting and bickering over anything and everything. If you breathe wrong, you're in the wrong. But yes, there are certain subjects that we should be stern on, and that we should be steadfast on certain points of views, because I mean, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, but also to hear everyone out a little bit more. We've forgotten the idea of what a discussion is, or a conversation. Callie, you're just gonna have me all over the place today. I had her in here with me because she was very playful. So I knew that she was going to be running and scratching the door. Well, she's going to be scratching the door anyway, so that might be one of my few edits, is me basically getting up to go let kitty out the door. But we need to start showing way more compassion and kindness in this world. And I had realized that if people are in disagreement, it's almost as if it just feels like cancel culture. And it shouldn't feel like that. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody can learn from their mistakes. Granted, yes, you want those people to actually show accountability for making those mistakes. Obviously, if they're just ignoring it or denying it, it's a different story. But if somebody, especially from their past, if things are brought up from like years and years and years ago, or especially the cases that most of us know, that if things are brought up from when they were a teenager, something that they posted, because in our teenage brains, we are not fully adults, we're not fully thinking about what somebody is saying or posting, that I'm just seeing it happening time and time again. Now, I appreciate the ones that recognize what they had done as a child, take accountability for it, and say, hey, I know that that was wrong now, and I'm going to take accountability, learn, and grow from it. But we're seeing it happening right now in front of our eyes with the Elon Musk you're going to get the bloopers all in with this too. With the Elon Musk situation that I don't even know what to think of it, because literally the other day, God, this would have been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago now, that he did that limit for posts, that you had a certain amount of posts that you could see, a rate limit, I guess you would want to call it. And then once you hit that limit, you were done. You couldn't do anymore, you couldn't see anymore, you couldn't tweet anymore, and it even spilled into the DMs as well. So then on Friday, this last Friday, when we had the final episode of The Last Drive-In, so obviously that's a huge thing, and I'm in a few movie watch groups. Well, Musk decided that at some point, and his way of saying was to prevent the spammers and the bots from being in DMs, so he had this limit. So unless you were verified, you had this cap. And because it was Friday for The Last Drive-In, I reached that cap, and I reached it pretty quickly too. And it was 24 hours before I could get back into the DMs again and basically just say, hey, how's it going, guys? Happy weekend. But it's just, I don't know, if somebody could explain to me what this guy's thought process is, that, I mean, obviously this is probably him throwing a temper tantrum, because he decided last minute that he wanted to back out of purchasing Twitter, and because the contracts had already gotten so far and everything, that he literally was forced into having to go through that purchase, because he had gone through so far before he decided he wanted to back out. And this is how he's handling it, and he's turning it into the idea like it's almost like a Patreon. I don't know. But I mean, there's a difference between if somebody goes on YouTube and you want to pay for the subscription so that you don't have ads, or in the sense of Patreon, where you're supporting somebody that you're a fan of and that you want to help support that person, support their work. And that feels so different than what Twitter is, because Twitter has always been, especially one of the number one social media outlets where everybody could just have a voice and opinion on there. And it is just the weirdest, most chaotic thing right now. And I don't know, if somebody could please explain to me what is going through his head right now. And I think where my issue and my problem is because Twitter was my number one favorite platform. Like, I love Twitter. And Twitter's where I found my horror fam. And when I first did my first cosplay as Charsie Lux, and I made my Twitter and I put up a post of my number one favorite character from a comic. Well, I guess I should say Vlad is technically my favorite. My second favorite, which was Cassie from the Hack Slash comics. And I found this amazing community, especially through the horror fam, and just an overwhelming amount of love and friendship and kinship as well. So for Twitter to be going downhill the way that it is, and the fact that it feels like it's just trying to be destroyed, like literally, I think it breaks my heart at some point, because it's not the same Twitter that it was. It is not. And I have found myself that I'm spending less and less time on there. And the same with my other social medias, which granted, I mean, if I'm working hard on all my other stuff, there's a big reason for that. But especially with his stupid tweets where he's like, I'm doing you a favor and I'm forcing you to get off of your phone so that you go spend time with your friends and your family and go outside, go touch grass. And it's like, how dare you to assume that somebody, that just because they're on Twitter, that they don't go outside, that they don't spend time with family and friends. And there's 24 hours in a day. And also the fact that a lot of my friends are on Twitter, and that I have found the community because of quarantine and us being stuck at home, and that we did these movie watch groups, and we still do these movie watch groups. So that is a connection to friends. And if I could spend time with these people in person every day, I gladly would. But these are friends that live across the country, hell, even in a completely different country. And it's amazing the community that you can have on Twitter. Man, this is not the conversation that I saw that this was going to go, because I was planning for my first Charsie chats about the fact of somebody taking and copying my YouTube videos and uploading it on a porn site. I was going to talk about how angry I was about that. I mean, I'm going to be way more lighthearted about it than I was the other day when I first discovered it, and I was so pissed off. Mortified. Mortified is probably more the word. And yeah, so it's one of those things where I guess I'm doing something right, because let's face it, this is not the first time it has happened to me where somebody's been copying me, or so this isn't my first rodeo, I guess I should say, but it's like I must be doing something right, because it keeps happening. And I don't know, it confuses me at the same time, where I'm like, okay, yes, I do sexy content. Ooh, I've always been doing that. I've done lewds, I've done OnlyFans, so, but I don't do porn. I moved away from the OnlyFans so that I wouldn't start doing porn and that kind of, because if you're on OnlyFans, the easy way to make money is to go in that direction. That's not the direction I wanted to do personally. I am not knocking it on anybody that does. I will never, ever, ever condemn anybody that does that. They are way smarter than me. Let's put it that way. I decided to go down the hard route of, hey, I want this to be about me and my personality and what do I love to do the most. I am a storyteller. I love telling stories. I love chatting about horror movies. So that's when I started doing the YouTube and moved away from OnlyFans. And of course, I was doing podcasts before. I had the Hack Slash podcast that I did with Chris, and then had done the movie reviews with DC on Little Channel of Horrors. Well, then I'm way more comfortable on my own as of right now, as growing and learning. Although it's been a year and a half, oh my gosh, it's almost been a year and a half of doing Charsie Lux on YouTube. Wow, I didn't realize that much time has already gone by, because my anniversary for 1 year was in December. Yeah, it's a year and a half. Celebration, y'all! Oh my gosh. Maybe I need these Charsie chats just to have this kind of just light bulb moment for myself. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the fact that, yeah, it's infuriating that somebody copied my videos and uploaded it onto their site, which it's an untrustworthy site, that it tries to get malware, it tries to do phishing to get information. So I do not suggest to anybody to do anything with this site. And I have so many awesome and wonderful friends that have helped me and given me information of what the actual server is. So to reach them and to put my complaints that, hey, this is my content, remove it from your site. In fact, this whole site whatsoever should be taken down because it's a phishing site. And no, we have enough with bots and scammers, and now with everything going on with the AI scene and that, we don't need to keep this narrative going. We have some of the most phenomenal, wonderful technology at our fingertips, yet there's so many terrible people in this world that just want to make a quick buck, that they do this scammy fucking shit. And I think that's what drives me even more nuts, is that it's like, I want to focus on the good, I want to focus on the positive, but with us being around so much on the news, so much on social media, that it's just, the bad stuff around us is so readily available, and it's just like, we have this amazing technology, yet these people just want to hack, they just want to scam, they want to do identity theft, and it's just blows my fucking mind. Ugh. But yeah. We will get everything situated and we will get everything figured out. But I just wanted to come on here and, like I said, to have this be the first official Charsie Chats. Like I said, I didn't intend for it to be about me venting about Elon Musk. I don't like any form of billionaire whatsoever. And we have the Reagan, that little celebrity that was our president how many years ago, that put in those lovely bills that are affecting all of us now, that the rich get richer and the middle class, which isn't the middle class anymore, the poor stay poor, because we no longer have a middle class anymore. It is disappearing, and it is disappearing quickly. And it blows my mind every single time that I'm watching the news when they're talking, and it's like they'll bring up stuff to basically blindside everybody, just to distract. There's the word I'm looking for. To distract everyone so that they're not focusing on the real problem. And we used to call them the 1%. That the billionaires and the richest people in the world all were the 1%. They're not even the 1% anymore. They're less than 1%. And that is so scary to think about. That something that is less than 1% of the world has the most of the world's income. And why would you want to tear apart the middle class in the first place? And I don't know, it's just, these are conversations that we should be having and that we should be focusing on, and not things that we should be fighting over. It should be stuff that we are aligned together and that we all feel for each other, and that just because you could be rich and you have, that you're set for life, doesn't mean that everybody else is in a good standing spot. I mean, most people are struggling to get by, and it just, it's been nonstop, obviously, since 2020, and with everything that went on with that, it's just been nonstop. Like, everything's just going downhill. But I want to try and be positive about things. I feel like we should go about everything with love, compassion, kindness, have a conversation about it, a discussion, and then just because if you agree to disagree with me, that we can't have a friendly conversation about it. And it just, I don't know, it just blows my mind every single time I think about things that are going on in the state of the world, and that if I think too much about it, obviously it brings me down. So maybe this is just something for me to get it off my chest, which included the whole fact of, I'm on a porn site, even though it's just this. So that's the other weird part. But I love you guys so much, and hope you enjoyed the first official Charsie chats. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. If not, make fun of me. Whee! But if you would like to follow me on my other social medias, you can follow me on my Twitter for charsielux with 3 X's, or on my Instagram or Threads for charsie87, or on my Blue Sky for charsielux with 3 X's. But thank you so much for joining me here, and as always, I hope you have a Luxy Charms kind of day. Bye!